Ladies, gentlemen, welcome to the Pals Podcast, man. This is episode 31.
31.
I'm Luke.
Hell yeah. And I'm Drew.
Blano.
Yes, sir.
I'm Blano.
So, I mean, it's Sunday today, so it's not Friday like typically, but end of the week, essentially. I mean, for some people, right? End of the weekend. Just wanted to, how's everybody doing? Blano, if you want to start, obviously you got a new haircut.
We got a new hair. Well,
how was the week?
Clean,
how was
the new hairstyle?
How was the week, man?
Week was good. Started it off. Got a new tattoo. Finally added on to my left sleeve, my Galaxy themed sleeve. So that was cool.
Can you see it in the? Not to interrupt you, but can you?
I mean, yeah.
Nice,
nice. I could show it off just a little bit.
That's good,
got a little bit added on.
Yeah.
I went along that space theme, so that was cool. It had been like 8 years since I added on to that sleeve.
It's crazy how fast time goes, isn't it? When you get a tattoo and it's like, oh yeah, I got all these plans, and the next thing you know, you're 30.
You're 30, right? 30 and you're bald. You know what I'm saying?
Literally, yeah. No, I hear you.
So that was cool. It just worked. Works good. I don't know what we've talked about. It's been a minute since we've been on, right? Did we skip last week?
No,
I was moms.
You were out last week, so yeah,
I was out.
That's why I was starting with you.
Yeah. I reached out to a realtor and a mortgage lending company, and I got pre-approved. So,
hell yeah.
Tentatively, I'll be purchasing my first home in December.
Where are you thinking about?
I thought about Greenwood, honestly.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't want to live in Indianapolis. It's fucking rough.
Of course. No,
yeah, I wouldn't either.
It seems like no matter where I see, like anywhere within, like, especially the Loop, the West Side's kind of bad. East Side's gotten way worse. But if you head north, right, you're going up to all the rich people. And I'm not trying to like spend $1,800 on an apartment.
Yeah.
I'm not that bougie.
Yeah.
But there seems to be some decent areas, in Greenwood.
It's funny.
I really actually sent me.
Real quick. No, I was about to say I actually talked to Dane for the first time in a while last week, and he's actually living out there in Franklin. So so you speak of Greenwood. Obviously that's close to Greenwood.
Yeah,
that's the only reason I
made the inference. Close. Yeah.
He said he likes it out there. I mean, I personally, I've been to all of it. Obviously, I lived in Greenwood, but it's like Greenwood was definitely always the nicer area. I don't know what it looks like nowadays, but
it's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's really not.
I think every place has their certain areas. Like I've heard Greenwood has their areas.
Oh yeah, and it did even when we lived there.
Well, yeah.
But I've heard mixed things just from people that's lived there. You know what I mean? Just because, and one thing is that that new transit they have. See, because all those cats can come from Indianapolis to Greenwood now on that bus.
Don't they run through?
Yeah.
So
that's something but like I said, I haven't been back to Indiana almost 2 years. So
you're coming back soon, right?
I think in November.
Yeah. When are you coming
November,
back? Yeah,
I think.
November.
Yeah, I think we're gonna come back. If not November, December, one of the two.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure by the end of the year, we will be back with the boy.
Oh, he'll be born by then. There you go.
Figure out a name yet?
Yeah, I told you.
Or is that the name you're? I didn't know if that's the name that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's official.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that was.
That's what it's gonna be, man. Bodie Tyler St. Laurent.
Hell yeah.
Where's the Tyler? Tyler, is that
my middle
after
name?
You? Your middle name.
Yep.
Gotcha.
So yeah, we're excited about it, man.
Give him a second middle name.
So yeah, Bodie. We're naming. Yeah, we're naming it. You know what's crazy? Real quick, I gotta tell you. So I went to a few interviews last week. Obviously got a job. I got offered for all of my interviews, but
there you go. Congrats.
One of the cats I interviewed with, I meet him. He's like, "Yeah, my name's Blaine."
No shit.
Oh god.
It was this plucky little, like, white guy, obviously, but plucky little guy, bro. Just like complete opposite of you, Blano. And it just was fun. I've never really heard of anybody else named Blaine. Really, like, yeah. I mean. Like, I think Kendra had a kid in her school named Blaine or something like that. But it was just like...
We went to high school with one other guy named Blaine. I don't know
really?
If you know
no, I don't.
Blaine Kime.
Oh, dude, yeah, I had a class with him, actually.
Yeah.
Was he in our grade?
I think he was 2 years. 2 years above us.
Yeah.
Oh, I
think
no
it was
like some country dude. Some country dude.
That's
you know?
Big
funny.
dude.
Big burly country dude.
Corn-fed.
Corn-fed
Yeah, he
fella.
was.
Yeah.
But that's cool, Blano. That's cool, man.
That's me, Drew.
Yeah.
Drew.
What up? What's up?
That was the week, man.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, my bad. I forgot. You can't just say Drew.
He
Drew's
just
like,
have
what's
a beer in him.
talking about?
Drew's looking
What
at
are we
the smile on
talking
the
about
wall.
here? Yeah, no. We're good. You know, just
So you're
same,
enjoying a
same
beer?
shit. Yeah, a little Corona.
Did you see that product placement? He had that Corona label faced out, you know?
Did I really?
Oh, yeah, you did.
He's like,
Just
"My
like that.
Corona?" Hey, that'd be a fun sponsor, wouldn't it?
It would be. Hell yeah, dude.
Hell, if we all got paid to drink Coronas on here, I think Blano would even drink a Corona.
No.
If you got
Maybe
paid,
half a Corona.
why not, right?
Maybe half a Corona.
If it was
What if they say you have to drink the full Corona?
So here's the thing. I don't think they can force you to, and I think like
it's a hypothetical.
But what if they kind of pretty much said? I mean, what if they were like, "Listen, hey,
hypothetical?
Well, that's
you
the
got to
thing,
drink
I
the
don't-
full thing if you want the full check."
hypothetical.
Well, you'll get paid,
Hypothetical.
but
So you get $1,000 to finish it, you get $500 for half.
exactly.
I'll drink.
Not
half
even
a
that.
beer.
50.
Yeah.
50 no,
I don't think alcohol. Like I don't think they can offer sponsorships to anybody. I'm pretty sure they can.
I don't know what it looks
I think
like.
there's
with
like laws.
them. Well, I know they have.
Ever noticed, like,
I know they have a sponsorship with UFC though, or Modelo does.
Yeah, are we talking about like they can't have like sponsorships at
Because
all?
they
Or, like,
have-
They can't-
podcasts? What do you mean?
Because
their sponsorships can't be you drinking their alcohol like on a televised.
Oh, I got you.
Like that, they can't do that, but they can. Like they can't give somebody money
To drink- yeah, I get it. Yeah,
have
I mean, it
them
makes sense.
Drinking it, you know.
yeah, no, it
But they
totally
can
makes
pay
sense.
somebody to like plaster the logo on their like TV,
Yeah,
podcast,
Yeah,
whatever.
what's his name? Who's that comedian that does the Bud Light shit?
Shane Gillis.
Yeah,
And-
didn't he?
and Post
isn't that
Malone?
basically what he does?
Well,
But
you
no,
did you
it's
watch
not
the
great.
did you watch the commercial? They go, "Hey, we actually can't drink this until the commercial's
Yeah.
over," and then they count
Yeah,
So the
down,
commercial's over,
and then it's like they say one, and then it goes black, and you can only imagine they're drinking the beers, obviously. But
I mean,
Yeah.
but he drinks beers on his podcast and shit.
I have no idea.
So that's him
I don't ever
drinking
watch
beers
them.
on a podcast, but I don't think he's sponsored by them.
Well, I mean,
Bud Light had a whole
What?
bad run.
well, yeah, they try to
They're
recover
trying
after
to recover after the whole tranny thing.
yeah.
Wait, what happened with that?
They like basically like put what was it, like a transvestite on the I'm just trying to use the proper terminology.
Yeah.
They put a
it's
tranny
just
on
funny.
the
I haven't heard that one in a while.
That's funny. Drew's
We pulled
face
the West
lit
Side
up.
Dictionary out.
Yeah.
No, but they put a tranny on their commercials, you know, when everybody was I hate saying this, but going woke. Everybody stopped drinking it, bro. They actually
it ruined
because
them
that's what they were trying to tell people. They were like, you guys got to understand who drinks this beer. Is it all the trannies? No, they drink fucking
No.
you know
My
all
time
the
Sex on the beach.
gay shit. They drink all that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just gonna say, you know,
Like, hey,
I mean, I'll even say like the shit like I've been drinking. That's what they type of people who drink. You know what I mean? They drink like those fruity drinks. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. You know, but they're not drinking fucking Bud Light. Who's drinking Bud Light? The hard workers in the world. So you think they want to see a fucking
that's
tranny on there?
daggers, man. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. But no, they actually, what was it? 2023, 2024. They had they lost their ranking as like the #1 beer seller in the United States, and that it had been what was it, decades, right, Drew? I can't remember.
Yeah. Oh yeah. At
To
least,
Corona.
yeah.
Corona actually took over,
A Corona.
which is why I
Corona.
not to circle back to
You say
this.
Corona?
Well, not to circle back to this, Blano, but that's why I don't know what the whole stipulation is, but I know I watched the UFC. Obviously, I watch UFC, but I watched their they do pre-fight like pre-shows and post-shows and shit like that.
Right.
And they have 3 or 4 cats that sit around and they basically drink the beers, the Coronas or the Modelos, and that's like their sponsored beer, but it's not one of those things where they're like, "Oh, get a Corona," because they're just sponsored by them. Yeah, they're just casually.
Right. They're not saying
like if we're all sitting here. Yeah, you know what I mean. They're not saying, "Hey, go buy this," but they're just sponsored by them. That's why they're drinking them.
Yeah. They're not saying this show was sponsored by Corona.
No.
Your 6-pack for sale for
Yeah.
$5.99. Yeah, they're not doing that
$5.99.
shit.
Shit, I'd I'd be drinking Corona a little bit more if it was $5.99 for a 6-pack. Shit,
wait a minute,
motherfuckers are like $12.
Damn,
Isn't
I've been
it
out of
true?
the game for a while.
What?
6-pack for Corona, around about 12.
Oh, I have no idea. I don't buy 6-packs.
Oh, you only
Probably.
okay.
That sounds about right.
What do you buy then? The 12?
The 12-pack
okay.
or 24. Yeah.
I mean, fair game.
Big.
Because no, I hear you. Because there's a lot of times once you start drinking, you always want more, and you don't want to be too short, right? Like you don't want to be short beer.
Yeah. I might as well just have it, because I'm not.
Yeah, you're gonna drink it
like,
eventually.
Obviously, yeah. I might as well just have it.
Unless I'm over.
And then that's it. Yeah. But speaking of things that are like outrageously priced, so I don't know if you guys heard about in Indiana with the the new cigarette tax.
Yeah, I heard about that.
$3. They're adding more.
Wait, $3 cigarette tax
per pack?
Yes.
Wow, they're gonna be like
per
Chicago
pack.
price.
I remember.
It was like $17 for a pack of Newports in Illinois.
It was when I worked in Chicago, and back when I used to smoke, or my buddies used to smoke that I worked with, man. Fuck $15, and this was like 10+ years ago.
I mean, minimally over 12. I know because I remember. Yeah, like you said, and that was 10+ years ago. So I can only imagine probably $20 for a pack. I mean, that's unaffordable, but at the same time, I mean, is it really that bad? Because it's kind of make people. But then again, I don't know. That's one of those conundrums.
I knew people who would smoke a pack a day. Can you imagine dropping?
Yeah, I know. Oh yeah, I know a few people that smokes like almost 2 packs a day.
Didn't Julian smoke like a pack a day? Them fucking blacks, the Marlboro blacks.
I don't know. I know my dad buys my mom a carton of cigarettes a week.
Carton.
Oh, a week. Nice. Hell yeah.
That's over $100. So.
Do you know what the most expensive
never happy about that.
cigarette right now is?
American Spirit. Or Virginia Slims.
Newport?
Or Virginia Slims.
I'd be surprised if it's not Newports.
It's Marlboro Black Special blend. Newport is right there too, but so in California and New York.
Yeah, Cali's going to be your
some
highest
places
probably.
It's $18 to $20.
18 to 20
for a pack.
You better start smoking some Cheyennes, my guy. If you're
bro, it's
18
it's cheaper to smoke weed.
Cheyennes taste like cat piss.
Yeah, I miss the old Cheyennes, the old cherry ones.
Those taste like cat piss, dude. They were all brown. You remember smoking those in the Cavalier?
Yes. I remember the menthol Cheyennes.
Fuck, man.
Yes. Dude,
I'll tell you what.
I have a story about
Go
that.
ahead.
I have a story about that. So I used to smoke the Cheyennes, right? Back when fresh 18, I'm like, man, I'm cool. I'm 18. I'm gonna buy them now.
Yeah, of course.
There was a smoke shop or like a tobacco store at 10th and Midhofer, 10th and Midhofer, and they sold the Cheyennes for like super cheap. So I remember I went in there and I bought like one of each flavor. I'm like, I'm cool as shit, and I kept them in my little cubby hole compartment.
One of each flavor.
I did, man.
That's tough when there's cigarette flavors.
Yeah.
Luke Barris and I were hanging out one day, and I was taking him to work or something, and we were talking or whatever. I dropped him off, and I went to go pull my packs out. Like all of them were missing. I'm like, where the fuck?
Oh, yep. He's notorious for that, bro. Straight nabbed him.
He swooped
he's a son of a bitch, bro. We caught him stealing Drew's change, bro. We set him
Little
up.
Rat.
Bro, you remember that, Drew? We set it up.
Yes, I remember that.
So we had a suspicion that he was stealing Drew's change, and Drew left it out one day. You remember Drew? And
yes.
We were like, let's just see what he does, and we left it.
He took it to like the balcony.
Yeah, he took it to the balcony, and then he hit it. And you remember we had that door, and he literally hit it up on top of that fucking closet, bro.
Yeah,
because
I remember confronting him. It was like during a party. I was like, "What you got there, Bears?"
And he was literally going through fucking Drew's change, like he had it in a baggie.
Like, bro, I hear the change in your fucking pocket, you motherfucker.
Bro, he was a rat, bro. He was a rat. I'm not gonna lie, man. And remember when he tried to steal my fucking cookie cake?
Yeah.
He tried to steal my cookie cake, bro, for my birthday. My mom always buys me a cookie cake, like every year.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I had a cookie cake in my fucking. I think I hid it in my closet or something, right, Drew, or something crazy like that.
No, you didn't.
I think that sounds about right.
And like he literally
into your closet,
Drew was with me. I think we were doing something in the room or whatever, smoking or doing something, and he literally tries to creep into the closet, bro. And tries to eat my fucking cookie cake. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. What are you doing?
Yeah, but
we got many stories about Barris, dude.
Yeah, plenty stories.
He's on his high horse always, but you know.
That guy.
What are you gonna do with him? Now,
love him to death. I haven't talked to him in years.
Let me ask you guys, did you guys see that the Pope passed away?
Yes.
Watched his whole little funeral and all that.
And I was going to say, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this or not, but Erica actually told me about this. I did a little bit of research myself. But you know how they have like, I think they're called cardinals. Like they're, you know what I'm talking about?
Cardinal
They're like, yeah, they're part of the church too.
Yeah.
Well, it was actually something controversial going around. Sorry. There was something controversial going around because basically one of these cardinals is actually accused of rape. And he was still there at the funeral and like kind of going amongst everything like nothing was going on. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on that because that unfortunately happens a lot in these churches, and they're kind of like guised by the church, right? Like they kind of like just kind of blend back in. Oh, well, you know, we're doing our part. It's crazy how prevalent that is, right? And it's always something with these high up officials in the churches.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard my stories of them like getting pushed around, like kind of moved around from church to church if they've done something, you know.
See, like, but what? You know, like, you should go to prison.
It's
if
very
you've done something like that.
You should. But I'm not, you know, I don't know the statistics.
Like,
on
what
that
makes
shit.
them? What makes them any? What makes them
not.
any different than you or I?
No, of course, nothing, not a damn thing.
Because if you were accused of rape, you know, God forbid, knock on wood, that never happens. But if you were accused of rape, Drew,
hey, shit,
you would be going through
it. DNA,
but
they need some DNA.
But it don't matter. You'd be going through it until you went to the court.
Oh, I would be.
But you see what I'm saying? But these other people, like especially in these high up churches, they just get to walk free and they're just on national television still. Like there's all this controversy, and then it kind of just like gets swept under the rug, you know. Blano, I know you're part of churches and shit. Like, what's your thoughts on that? Because I'm sure you've heard of that too, right? Like, not this specific case, but everybody's heard of.
I'm gonna drag. Yeah, you hear, especially in the Catholic Church, right? You know, altar boys and you know, like especially in the Catholic Church, do you hear that? I think, like when you talk about, I mean, really what it boils down to. My point here is that like, I mean, that's an abuse of power, right?
Yeah.
You're taking somebody who's a high-ranking official, whether it be in a church, some governmental body, whatever. They're abusing their power and they're preying on younger people, right? And yeah, it sucks when you talk about like how a lot of them could go free. I mean, you're looking at,
they're not held to the same standard, right? Like
they're
a lot of the time. I mean, you know, some of them are, but there are some who don't.
Why is that?
That's my point.
That's what
I don't know. I don't know.
It's always the religion thing though. It's always like, I feel like it's like I said, it's like a disguise almost. They hide behind the I don't.
But he's a Catholic priest, and he's a God-fearing man. You know.
You know how you know my outlook on it. I'm playing both sides, right?
So
devil's advocate, I guess.
You know.
Right?
Good book.
What was I gonna say?
You were talking about your like
a lot of so a lot of that, like how much of that is the trying to handle that in-house, right? Instead of, I think especially if you're talking about like rape, sodomy, any sort of sexual perversion, any sort of like anything like that, like the authorities should be contacted and involved.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Like, there are levels to, like, let's say a member was caught stealing from like the altar plate, right? Maybe it's somebody who's down on their luck. Like that's one thing, right? Like if the church elders,
that's crazy if you're doing that.
I mean, I'm sure that's happened.
Oh,
I'm sure people skim. You know, I mean, I'm sure it has. I can't. You know,
it's like what they always say, Blano. It's like if you can think of something, then somebody else has done it.
I mean, there's evil and sin in the world. I mean, it is what it is.
Murphy's Law. It can happen, will happen.
Yeah.
Or has.
or has happened.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing new under the sun. Nothing new under the sun. So, I don't know. I think it's tough. You know, when you have people like ministers, archbishops, bishops, deacons, in positions of power, and they're preying on children. It's
like obviously that's a whole topic in itself, and
Yeah.
great piece from everybody. And I was curious though, who succeeds the Pope then?
Isn't it down to 2 people right now?
I don't know. That's
So,
I'm curious. I don't know. I have no
with
clue.
the Catholic Church, there's like a board, essentially. Like there's a board of ruling elders.
Okay.
And they all have to like basically vote in the next person. They all have to agree. And I think it's down to 2 people. And I don't know their names.
Who put this board together?
They're like
I'm not expecting you to know.
I don't know.
Just, you know what I mean?
I don't know the.
You know what I mean?
Listen, think of it as like any sort of governmental body, like the people. I think with the Catholic Church, the people vote them in. I'm not sure though. The Catholic Church has always been.
Yeah, no, I think it is a vote.
The Catholic Church has always been very messed up. You could look back at their history. Like they ruled with an iron fist. I mean, you're talking heresy.
Very brutal individuals. Honestly.
So who's to say that? Who's to say that the people that are like in charge of putting the next pope in place didn't just
put themselves there?
I don't.
Like
yeah.
No, I get you. Yeah. Don't know if you guys seen.
Go ahead. And I'm not saying like Catholics are bad people or.
No, I get. I get what you're. Yeah. No, this is much more than the average individual, right?
Well,
this is more like higher ups in the Catholic churches.
Oh, yeah.
Is what we're talking about. We're not talking about like everyday people who go to church and pay their bills and taxes.
We're talking like these are people in Vatican City who make a lot of decisions, who do a lot of the big top level business.
It's like one of those questions though. You gotta like question, right? Like if you're living there, like who elected these people? Who put these people? Because if they're making decisions for like that, like who they get to choose the next pope. Well, the pope pretty much runs the whole fucking city there.
Yeah, so you have to understand like Catholics believe that
means he's the puppet master for the people who elects them.
Essentially,
see what I'm saying? Because they're gonna put they're gonna put somebody in power that they're gonna have influence over. In my opinion,
Pope has a lot of the power. He has most of the power. Just it depends on a group of people to say who do we want to be our next pope. You also have to understand Catholics believe that the popes, like every pope that's ever existed, is directly related to Peter. When Christ said, on
Peter,
you will be
Peter Pumpkin Eater.
Christ said, on this rock, the foundation of my church will be built, and that's where the Catholics get their pope line from, traced all the way back to Peter. So it's gonna be a whole power struggle and a big power shift coming up very soon for the Roman Catholics.
So
that's good.
So is the Pope technically like the president of the Vatican City? Like in the Vatican City, they're like the country, right? They're their
own country state. Yeah. So he's the ruler of Vatican City.
It's just like how people have prime ministers and stuff like that. They just have the Pope then, right?
Yeah, they just have the Pope who runs the city, who oversees the city. He'd be like the president of the city, right? But he also is the ruler of the church as well.
Seems like a lot of power in one person. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Yeah. I wonder do they have their own military or what?
Yeah, I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do have some military state.
Some holy shit.
They just all hold up crosses.
The crucifix.
But yeah, no, and obviously all the foreign leaders went there. I don't know if you guys watched. I don't know, Drew, maybe. I don't know. Well, I know you probably didn't, but I know Drew, you probably watched the Trump. Trump was there. And
I watched it.
He was. Did you see? He met with Zelensky.
Yeah, man.
Did you see the sit down they had?
I did.
Tell me it didn't look like a father and son.
Well, hey, listen. I don't know.
It did. It looked like a father and son was talking.
I don't know. Listen, maybe.
I think.
But what do you think they were talking about? Though?
Well, no, and obviously, like Trump said, he was displeased with how Russia was still dropping bombs on Ukraine. Yeah. Understandably, they're trying to talk about peace deals and stuff like that. But on the other side of that, I don't know what Ukraine's doing because we're only hearing the bad stuff. You got to think the media is only showing you what the media wants you to hear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what's going on behind closed doors?
They sent out those pictures for a reason. They had those pictures for like a day or two before they sent them out.
Trump and Zelensky had a private meeting. I literally commented on one of them. I said, how could it have been a private meeting when you have pictures and fucking videos of it?
Yeah. Weird.
You know what I mean?
So you're admitting that you were like...
I don't know. Like I said, so basically he just said that, you know, we'll see what happens in the next 2 weeks if Putin will agree to something. And if not, he's just going to completely kill their economy. So, I mean, at the end, he's not going to, why wage war on Russia and then kill our people in the United States?
Yeah. No, I don't think that's ever going to happen.
You can just crush their economy, just like he's doing to China's right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's no point in going to war.
You know what I mean, though? Yeah. And then we go to war, it's just, we're going to have to spend more money.
Yeah.
Us. You know?
Yep.
But yeah, no, so I didn't know what your guys' thoughts were on that. I mean, obviously it was funny seeing everybody lining up to meet him, like always. But it's just funny because they're all trying to get the good cards, right? Because they want to get the good tariff rates.
Yeah, oh my God. Please.
I mean, that's what it is, right? Like, it's just like a mortgage company. You want to get a good interest rate.
Well, no, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean,
I'll be honest. I don't like Zelensky. I think he's a fucking rat. I'm gonna be honest. I think he's a fucking rat of a person. He's a fucking pop star, fucking TV star. Why the fuck's he the president? You couldn't find anybody better.
What he came from.
The guy's a fucking jokester, man. He's a fucking knucklehead, bro. Like, did you see what he was wearing at the fucking funeral? He still didn't put a goddamn suit on.
I actually noticed that too. Yeah, I was like, he's still not wearing a suit.
Like, what a fucking piece of shit. What a piece of shit, honestly, man. Like, I just don't like him. I don't like him at all. And I think he has a horrible attitude when everybody in the world has helped him.
Yeah.
He's got a fucking horrible attitude about it, and he thinks he's entitled. Is what he is.
Yeah.
That's just my take on him. I don't know why everybody's fucking on his nuts. I think he's a fucking rat.
I mean, is it a lot of people for him?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who's we need to be helping them. Why the fuck can't we just mind our own business?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, pacifism. I'll promote pacifism.
Yeah, no, that's where I'm at, man. Like, I'm at the point where, bro,
Pearl Harbor, man.
Worry about yourself, bro. Anybody. Worry about your fucking self. You know, why do we have to worry about? Why is it our problem? It's not.
There's something to be said about helping your neighbor, right? You know, if your neighbor comes over and says, "Hey, I need help with this," right? Obviously, if we're talking on a global scale, country to country, country says, "Hey, we really need help with this. Can you help us?" There's one thing to be said about, we can do that.
How much do we have to help?
Yeah, I mean, to actively seek and then put,
when you start going into debt, is it worth it?
No.
You know what I'm saying? Would you guys do that? Would you go into debt for somebody else that you don't really know that much? And what are they going to do for you, really? You're not.
Probably not.
It's asinine to think that, right? Like, you're like, dude, that's stupid. Like, why would you even ask me that question?
Right. You're not being smart with your finances, your time, whatever.
That's how I feel whenever I see all these articles about, United States need to intervene and this, that. Like, why? I don't understand why we need to intervene.
Well, they're so used to the United States being the world doing that.
That's handouts, man.
What it is.
Yeah.
It's handouts, dude.
Our whole lives, we've always known.
How long has the United States been around? What? Not even 300 years? Not even 300 years?
75.
I think it's 76.
I don't know.
But
whatever.
But it's not even 300 years. China's been around for 5,000 years. Who the fuck do they help?
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was wondering where you were going with
But you get what I'm saying, though? Who do they help?
Yeah.
So why the fuck do we have to be the fucking... Everybody gets free shit?
I hear you.
Because when do you fellas get anything free?
Like free samples on like Sundays at Meijer.
You know what I mean, though?
The caveat there, Drew, is that your clock didn't work.
Yeah, you're still working for that shit.
Giving your life.
No, I'm just working. That means I'm working to eat free samples.
But I get your point on it, Blino. But but you guys get where I'm coming from. Like, I don't know. I'm just fed up. I think it's stupid because it's just a never-ending. And then what's next, fellas? What's next? Okay, we solve Ukraine. Okay, well, who's got the next problem that the United States can take care of?
Taiwan has a problem. The Philippines have a problem. Some coast off of Africa got.
But what happens when we get fucking hit by a hurricane or a tornado? or we get an earthquake.
You get a fake company called FEMA to come and.
You see what I'm saying though? What country comes helps us?
None. Listen, my tattoo artist, he went down to North Carolina. Remember when they had that hurricane that came through and just decimated Tennessee all the way up into North Carolina? My tattoo artist loaded up like a big.
Go ahead.
Go. He loaded up like an RV, drove it down there because one of his buddies, who was also a tattoo artist, lived in that area. That town or whatever they had no electricity for months. You had shops and grocery stores and like small mom and pop owned shops that were decimated, and they received no help.
Yep.
And
look, it's all swept under the rug still.
Yeah, it's still they still haven't received help. They're still dealing with the aftermath and the eradication of their entire fucking town, and
So where's the Ukraine helping us? Where's the EU? Where's NATO?
They're gonna be like Tennessee. What?
See what I'm saying though? It's fucking bullshit, bro. At what point do you just start being a savage and saying you guys don't do anything for us? Sure, we trade. We all trade. People get fucked on trade all the time, but why is it our problem when these other countries have things that are going on? Like a big thing with Ukraine right now is they want Crimea back, which is like one of their places, right? Well, if you look about it, what did he call it? Barack Hussein Obama, right? No, that's his middle name. You look it up.
I know.
Barack Hussein Obama. But if you look it up, he's the one who gave Russia, he gave Russia Crimea. I can't even say the fucking word. But it's like a big problem, and that's one of Ukraine's big things is they want that back now. And now it's on Trump to get that back.
Take it.
But it's on Trump.
How is it on Trump?
Because that's what they're saying. Oh, well, we're not going to agree to a deal unless we get Crimea back. Well, Trump always comes back to saying, well, Obama gave that to them. Why is that my problem? Why do I have to get that back for you now?
Mm-hmm.
You're just fucking asking for shit because you think, oh, well, it's Trump. He can get it. But, at the end of the day, bro, how much shit does he need to give you? How much? And I say he, I meaning the country, right? He's just the president. So, obviously, Joe Biden wasn't going to fucking do anything. He's a fucking idiot. That dude's fucking dead. Did you see him, by the way, at the Pope's funeral?
Yes, at the Pope, yeah.
He almost fell 3 times.
Yeah, man.
I'm pretty sure he was fainting.
The top. Holy Jesus.
I mean, what a fucking just waste of a person, man.
You hear what they just did in Colorado?
Mm-mm.
Actually, just seen today. They just arrested 100 illegal immigrants at a underground club, I guess.
Nice.
In Colorado Springs.
Well, you've seen the
what is an underground club though?
That's crazy. You've seen that judge, right? That was harboring a
I seen something. I've heard something like that.
Yeah, they were literally letting this illegal person that the ICE was looking for. They were letting them stay in their guest house on their property. Judge.
Wow. Wow. That's balls. Wow. Or is she thinking? Or is it? It was a chick, right?
It was a woman and a dude. Yeah, so it was a Wisconsin judge, and I don't know where it's connected, but there was actually a New Mexico judge too that got hit for it. A judge in New Mexico.
They think they're just not going to look there?
Yeah, I don't know. But they're both Democrats, and they were saying, oh, well, since Trump's doing this, we're trying to help them out. Well, now you're fucking getting arrested for harboring a fugitive, you dumbass.
Yeah, now you're going to federal prison.
You're fucking nice ass fucking gated community, and you're fucking letting an illegal fucking alien stay in the fucking guest house. Remember, that's a second house on their property, by the way, fellas. That's not, nobody usually has that. I mean, what? I don't know.
So I get it. People who are illegal aliens, they're still people, right? They're still human beings who have every right to have,
have life,
a roof over their head,
to have life. That's it.
They do, but that doesn't mean that you need
to live here.
The law. Yeah, I mean, I get it. They probably fled from shittier circumstances from whatever country they're from, but go through the proper channels.
Yeah, I gotta say that's what Trump always says. He's like, we want people here. He's like, but you got to do it legally.
Yeah, I just watched a video actually the other day. They looked like some type of African or whatever. They were going from the U.S. to Canada, and the people were telling like, hey, you guys are crossing illegally, but if you just go walk a few, feet, yards, whatever, down this way, you can enter legally. There's a process you can go through. It's going to be completely fine. It's free or whatever.
Just fill out paperwork.
And they're like, no, we're still going to walk through. He's like, just to be clear, you're going to get arrested when you walk across. But if you just walk this way and go in through the process, you'll be fine. Nope.
I just don't
She's
know.
like, okay,
it's crazy
right.
how much this is like ramped up all over the world. I mean, United States obviously particularly, but that's what we hear about because we live here. But all over the world is like all the immigrants, dude. Like they were saying from the Congos and shit, right? Like those just like really African, like in the African like Congos, just like people who just aren't really part of the civilized world, I guess. Like obviously they're human beings, obviously. But they're not like, it's a different culture. And you put those people in Indiana, for instance. How do they translate? Do they go work at Myers? Do they go work at the post office? Or do they start robbing and murdering people?
No, I'll tell you. There's
that's what they do in the Congo.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's rough.
That's what they do, bro. Like they rob and murder for that's a lot of people in the Congo do for money. It's gangs. It's all gangs.
It's all gangs.
It is, man. You can look it up. I mean,
gang.
It is.
Gang.
What were you saying, Blano? You said what?
Yeah, Blaine. What?
There's a fairly large African community here in Indianapolis, and I guess there's a lot.
Like African or black? Because are you talking about people from Africa?
I think he means African.
Okay.
People from Africa.
Okay.
People from Africa.
So like straight up. Okay.
Yeah, I see a lot of them here on the east side. They live together. They like group up. They'll buy or they'll rent apartments. A lot of them.
You got 8
in one
people
area.
in one apartment.
I'm sure they do.
That's how it is out here
I'm
too.
Sure they do. What they do though is like they're going to like Goodwill or like small, like pawn shop type stores like Goodwill, Salvation Armies. They're going through like these big chain stores and they're buying everything and then they flip it and sell it. That's what a lot of them are doing here on the east side.
It's nasty. That's kind of
nasty.
They'll
literally go into Goodwill. I mean, they're doing what they can do, I guess, but
if they're here legally, they should be able to go get a job.
They should, but how much do they want to go flip burgers?
Do you want to go get your job every day? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's just the question. That's the question. But I know. But do you want to go do it every day?
Not really.
You see what I'm saying, though? You don't. Like at the end of the day, Drew, do you want to wake up and go to your fucking job every single day? No.
No.
That's just life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sure, we could go do that too. Are you guys willing to go to Goodwill and fucking? And you know what it is though, Blano? Why are they able to do that? Because the government pays them. Because they're fucking broke on the books.
Yeah, I'm sure they get a lot of.
And then
money
how do they live?
stipends.
Because they live on Section 8.
And they get WIC and they get EBT.
But my thing is if you're getting all that, which means you can get a job. Because if you're applying for all that, you can apply for a job.
Oh, that's why in Indiana, starting soon.
I think that's going to be fucking great, Drew. I think that's a beautiful thing that they're going
to have a job.
At what point are you guys? I mean, Indiana's a shithole state, and at what point are they going to say, you know what, we're going to have to take a stand and start fixing this because nobody even wants to fucking visit here?
Yeah,
they're not making no money off tourists. Florida makes a bunch of Florida, Arizona, California. They make all the money off tourism. Las Vegas. That's where all their that's why it looks nice, when you go places and shit. Then you go to Indiana and you got ran down fucking stores that are half burned down, and you got fucking boarded up places, and it looks like shit.
He's describing the east side of
Indiana. It looks like
it's literally the east side.
It looks like shit because you have people like that who inherently just keep doing this, and it's generational after generation after generation, and they live off the government and they don't ever do anything different. And they say, oh, well, mom and dad did the same thing, and we got food stamps every year, and we got this, and we got that, and we didn't have to work. We just got to sit around and fucking, drink 40s and shoot dice.
Oh, what?
I mean, it's the fucking truth, brother. I mean, it's the fucking truth, you know? And what are they? They're gambling with the money that they get from the government. Motherfuckers don't want to hear the truth, bro, but that's the fucking truth. Go drive down 42nd Post. Go down. Dude, I remember driving with your brother. Drew. And we went through a neighborhood, and that's what you seen. You seen motherfuckers sitting on a corner. It was like a Wednesday at 5 or 3 p.m. It was me, Tony, and Dwight. And you see motherfuckers literally shooting dice, drinking 40s.
Tony was there with you guys.
You can imagine what we were getting. But and you see motherfuckers shooting dice. But that's besides the point. You can see motherfuckers shooting dice, drinking 40s with their kids running around the fucking in their yards. It's a thing that you just continuously see because the government and I mean these people, I mean, can't blame them, right? They're getting free shit. But it's like the government. But that's why I say, Drew, it's such a good thing just to round back to that point because that's how you break that cycle.
Yeah.
I also want to touch base on like bringing that up where you can't buy. It was like candy and stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. Candy and pop and shit like that. How
do you argue that? How do you argue saying, "Oh yeah, no, we need that"?
No, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
But also, like, are we going to see a positive growth and improvement on like childhood obesity now? Now that parents who are on EBT and WIC can't just like buy a bunch of Reese's peanut butter cups and like Reese's, you know what I mean?
Let their kids
like
just snack down on that shit all day.
Yeah. But now they actually have to go and buy bananas and collard greens and you know what I'm talking about? Like
fruits and
now they actually have to buy the healthy shit. Yes.
Hell, I wish I could. I wish I could get money to buy healthy shit. We always got to spend our own on it. You know what I mean? Bananas aren't too bad, but I'm just saying like other shit though.
Yeah.
Like I'll get 5-6 bananas for $2, if that. You know what I mean? It's really not too bad. It's really not too bad because they go off of weight. You know what I mean? You get a pound and a half of bananas and like $1.50 for a pound type shit. But anyways, moving on. Another thing that I seen. I don't know if you guys seen they talked about for a while. RFK banning the food dyes, and I guess they're officially going through. And I'll just say this real quick, and I'll get you guys' opinion on this. But this is a big thing that's been going on in United States, probably across the world, mostly United States because of how bad the foods are. But like the weight, we have such an obesity, like the obesity in this country is terrible. And another big thing that people don't talk about is the infertility. And the infertility comes from all these fucking horrible foods and shit that people eat, and they get in the fucking they get in that habit of doing it over and over and over. Why do you think nobody's having babies anymore? Because everybody's overweight. Look at the fucking 1950s. It is. I know. I guarantee it is the reason, Drew.
Well, no, I only bring that up for just because.
I do firmly believe it is.
So I'm sure you just heard about like Trump offering like $5,000 for like firstborn child, pretty much for having a baby for the first time.
I did see something about that, but I still think that I think shit like that's weird, man. Like, what about all the people who already had babies? Do they get $5,000?
Well, of course, yeah, that's bullshit. Yeah, But my thing is just like, do you think it's just a cultural thing, or do you think?
No, I think it's a infertility thing. I think it's.
I think both.
I think it's both. Because you can't tell me that motherfuckers aren't trying to have babies, bro. Like literally, for instance, I'll give you a perfect example. I told Eric about this. I was at when I was at one of my interviews this week, there was a lady talking. I heard her talking to her coworker, and she was kind of, they were discussing whatever, and she was like, I just got married like 2 years ago, didn't know they needed. I don't know exactly what she was talking about, but something stood out to me. What she said, they want to know everything about your life, and they want to know how many kids you have, and this, or how many kids you've tried to have at least, and dude, that stood out to me because it's so true. So many people are trying to have kids. So many couples want to have kids and they can't have kids. And then the IVF shit is so unaffordable. That's the shit that helps people, conceive. Yeah. But it's so unaffordable in this country. And realistically, all it is like a shot. And they make this shot like $15,000. Mm-hmm. The shot's not more than a few $100s to make, though. Like, can you guys imagine that? Like, you talk about how they talk about divorce and things like that in this country, and that's a big reason why people end up getting divorced too, is because they can't conceive children. They want to have kids, they can't have kids because
for sure.
You see what I'm saying? It's a conundrum, and that's something that never gets brought up in this world or in this country. And it's just like, I don't know. It's just something that I think that this is a great first step towards it, because the shit we eat, man, and
fucking terrible for you.
It's banned in other countries.
It's literally banned in all.
That's
of
what
Europe.
I'm trying to tell you.
Basically, the rest of the world has banned dyes completely.
And if you go look at them, Drew, if you go look at those countries, they don't have a baby shortage. Just to put it like that.
And they also, I don't know this.
You can look at that stat up though. They don't have a baby shortage in Italy. They don't have a baby shortage in the UK. They don't have, you know what I mean? People are having babies at good rates. Here in the United States, a lot of people don't have fucking babies because.
Well, that's what I'm at. That's why I'm curious if it's just a cultural thing, or
so
is
you think
it
it's a United States thing? People saying, "Oh, I don't want to have a kid." Like, I don't know.
I don't listen. I've talked to a lot of people, and they just literally a lot of young people. I just don't want to. I don't want a kid.
How old are they?
Not like my age.
Are they married?
My age or younger? Huh?
Are they married?
I mean, some. Yeah. Some.
So you're telling me both wife and husband don't want to have a kid?
Well, that's the thing, yeah.
Because you're not talking to both sides, and you don't know what know what they're thinking in the back of their mind. They could really want a kid, and they've just tried for the last 2-3 years, and it never happened.
Well, I mean,
so at what point?
Case by case.
But you know what I mean. And at what point do you just accept and say, you know what, I'm not gonna push for this because it's affecting my life, because it does affect people's lives. It really does. It affects people's lives heavily. Think about if you're trying to have a kid 2-3 years and it doesn't happen. What do you that shit affects you.
Well, yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
And
it's like one of those things where back in the day, bro, people were 40 years old still having kids. That shit's like unheard of nowadays. Well, you obviously there still happens like anything, right? Like any 50-year-old woman somehow get knocked up or whatever, but it's like it's just one of those things that it's just not talked about, and it's like I feel like it really does come down to the food. I mean, just how bad, like, I just talked about is half the shit that we eat is banned in other countries.
Yeah.
The Cheetos, you're fucking go to the grocery store, right? I swear.
Naming snacks.
No, it is though. Hot fries. Hot fries.
I don't eat Cheetos.
Dude, yeah.
Hot fries.
They're just loaded with fucking red
dye.
food,
yeah, red 40.
Yeah,
that's what
dude,
it is.
horrible.
Yellow 5, blue 1, all that shit is fucking terrible. Go to the grocery store, look at like your bottled drinks, right? Maybe not like vitamin water, they use like juice as their coloring. But go and look at like, I don't know, fucking Dr. Pepper. Yeah. No, not Dr. Pepper. They use caramel as the coloring. But look at your popular shit. And,
like Code Red Mountain Dew.
Your Faygo.
It's literally like in red and yellow, yellow 5 and blue, and red 40. And that's how they're getting the coloring. And it's all like, designed.
And it's like, how is that affecting humans' bodies though? I'd like to.
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah, carcinogenic and shit.
And they have studies on it. They do have studies on it. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I've read studies on it, but it's just one of those things. I've seen a lot of shit like the food that we're eating nowadays. It's linked to just like infertility and shit like that. Food we're eating, drinks we're drinking, all these supplements people are taking nowadays, trying to gain muscle and stuff like that. Yeah, that's another one. I mean, that's another one. I mean, all these things have repercussions that I feel like a lot of people don't think about, though.
Maybe they do think about them. They just don't care because they don't
care in the time. But 5 years down the road, when it's affecting their lives,
their eyesight and their fucking liver shot, and
and like I said, it's affecting their lives, their marriages. That's when they'll start caring. You know what I mean? Or maybe they're not married right now. I don't want to have kids, blah, blah, blah. You get with the girl you really love her, and she wants to have kids, but you can't have kids now because you did all this shit when you were a kid. Or when you were younger, I'm sorry. You ate you took those supplements that fucked up your...
ate those ding-dongs.
Yeah, just straight lard foods, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's true. Like, I'll be honest, I don't know last time I had something like a Little Debbie's... I think that's the brand, right?
Little Debbie's is like the maker of them all, yeah.
I don't know the last time I had something like that, like a Little Debbie's like Hostess roll, or don't get me wrong, they look appealing. Fuck, I mean, it looks good.
They look,
they do look appealing.
Like a Swiss roll. I used to eat Swiss roll. I fucked those things up when I was a kid.
Dude,
but it's like now, bro, like I couldn't imagine eating.
We talked about this. Yeah. So great.
Oh, you know, Blino loves those oatmeal cream pies, dude.
That's what reminded me. I'm like, wait, we talked about this.
I love me an oatmeal cream pie.
But like when we were kids, we used to eat that shit, and I bet if you look at the ingredients from when we were kids to now, it's different. I bet
they've added way
cheaper.
more.
Whatever's cheaper.
Yeah. Because they've streamlined the process.
That's my point. Yeah,
it's perfect for them to make.
Yes, that's a perfect point, Drew. That's why it's fucking us up, because they're looking for the cheapest, most gross profiting way to make these things now, rather than thinking about the consumers.
Yes. How can we mass produce this product for as cheap as possible, but get the most profit?
And that's another thing. No smoke to you, Blino, but what you're smoking right now, that's another thing. That's a complete epidemic, bro. Is those vapes?
Terrible.
What's in those?
Vegetable glycerin, nicotine. There's 4 ingredients in it. There's vegetable glycerin, propylene glycol.
That word.
What does that do to your body?
Nicotine.
Though? Well, obviously we know what nicotine is, but all the other shit.
The vegetable glycerin is a sugar that's found in vegetable. I don't know how else to describe it. It's a sugar-based something, and the propylene glycol is basically what's in antifreeze. So that tells you.
You see what I'm saying? See how it's like it like, and like I said, I'm just using that as an example because I smoked vapes for a long time too, but it's like all those things I feel like they do factor into this, and most of the country is locked on those things now because they're so readily available at every gas station.
Or
literally every gas station sells Mr. Fogs, the Pulse X's, every brand you can fucking think of, from $5 to $30. They're there, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, it's one of those things that I've just thought about, and this is the last point that I've had, and I just wanted to get your guys' opinion. It's a little bit different. It's off subject. Canada's election for their new prime minister is coming up, fellas. Have you guys seen anything about that?
No, I have not.
No.
So they currently, if you look it up, you can look it up. They currently have a election going on for their new prime minister. And
who do we got?
It was like Pierre Pavlovich or something. You know what I'm talking about?
Frenchie.
Do you know who I'm talking about or no?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, he's the one guy who used to always like challenge Trudeau.
Okay.
So they got him. They got some like Arab type dude. He like wears like the headdress.
So he could be a snick or whatever it's called.
I don't know. Yeah, but and then they have one other cat
a sick. Yeah.
They have one other cat who was like Trudeau's right hand man. That obviously is controversial because they're like, well, if we get him reelected, it's going to be just like Trudeau. Like he was one of Trudeau's like advisors. You know what I mean? So I think that Pierre dude's going to win, though. You guys should look it up. It's a big thing going on right now.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly when it's supposed to happen, but it's supposed to happen soon. But yeah, so they're having a election for the new prime minister soon. So something to keep an eye out. I seen somewhere they're actually taking bets. Like United States, like bet companies are taking bets on who's going to be the new prime minister for Canada.
Are they going to bring back American liquor?
I don't know.
To the shelves.
I don't know.
I'm sure they're missing the Jack. I'm sure Jack Daniel's probably expensive up there now.
Oh, dude, the tariffs.
Something or
if they can get it.
I mean, I'm sure someone's smuggling some shit.
Motherfuckers are just coming across the border, like those border towns.
Yeah.
Well, but that's kind of all. That's all I had, fellas. I mean, that was all my points. I hate to talk over anybody. If you guys had anything, Drew, you probably had a few more things. I don't know, maybe.
I had it. Well, I had a few more, but it's I added them through there. It's all right.
Yeah, no, you're good at throwing them in there. Bueno, I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to touch on, man.
Truly, I didn't. This week was kind of busy for me, just traveling up, getting tattooed, coming back from work.
Oh yeah, true, yeah. You stayed with your mom for a little bit, right?
A couple days, yeah.
Chug. You got to finish it now. Go ahead, Blino.
Swirl it.
Yeah, look at him. He's going. Look at him. He's bulldogging it.
You got to get all the foam.
He's
gotta get all the foam,
he's
dude.
Motorboating that son bitch. You see him? I'm a motorboating some bitch.
Vince Vaughn, man.
Dude.
Hell yeah, he was at the Oval Office.
Yeah, he was. He was actually under fire, and he's like, dude, like, why are you guys? Once again, why are you so concerned with me?
So
Stop worrying about it.
Yeah.
If he wants to like Trump, let him like Trump.
Yeah.
Like, why are you trying to ruin people's careers over that, bro? Just because they fucking like somebody.
No. I don't know.
You guys seen that Katy Perry shit, right? With the astronaut. You guys seen the video I sent?
Yes.
You like that?
Yeah.
That guy was like, what's the weather? He's like, oh, it looks like it's sunny today. I guess I'm a meteorologist now.
Yeah. Yep.
He blew out a flame. I'm a firefighter now. Yeah, she was. Did you guys see that she actually? Last thing, she actually canceled a bunch of her concerts because like she's under hella fucking scrutiny because of that. People are roasting her, bro.
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
She was trying to say that she's an astronaut now.
Yeah. Why her though? Why would she even like of
Why?
all people?
Look, check this out.
That's what I asked.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
No, I was gonna say, check this out. We've seen more coverage on that bitch in their little fucking 11 minutes in space than we have on the people that were in space for a year. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, for real.
That Joe Biden let sit there because of political reasons. He didn't want Elon Musk to help because fucking he was going with Donald Trump. So it's just like, I don't know. Pretty crazy. We've seen more shit about them than we did the people who were literally not lost. I don't want to say lost, but they were stuck in space. Did you see that all the health fucking problems that they're gonna face? I don't know if you guys seen that.
I mean, I've heard some things.
They said the girl's jaw like elongated over the 11 months she was there, bro. Like her jaw has literally like grown, like
right on.
I mean,
you see that happen like with their spinal cord and stuff, where it'll get longer and longer because there's no gravity. That
they were there for
compress.
11 months, dude.
Damn.
A whole fucking year. You don't hear anything about them at all. It's just crazy. I don't know.
I wonder what you do up there.
Oh, I would love to be up there
and do some tests. No, I'm sure they're up there just doing. I mean, they're still scientists. Technically,
yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're just doing what they can. But they were they weren't always on the. They were on the They were on the what were they? Space station? Were they at the space station? Yeah. So they weren't on like a rocket ship or some shit, right? Like
no. I mean, well, it's pretty much a damn near.
I don't know. I mean, it's not. Like.
It's not as big as what everyone thinks. You've seen a picture of it.
Yeah, no, I've seen it. Yeah. It's kind of like a capsule.
Yeah.
It's not like what you imagine, like when you think about
like you're walking
you think
around,
it's like a Warren Central building or some shit. You know what I mean? Like when you hear like a space station, you think it's like a warehouse or some big building, right? But it's really like a capsule they're in. Pretty much, just floating. But yeah, fellas, I think that's it, man. I think we'll wrap this up here. We're tapping into an hour now, so if you guys are good with it,
I'm good with it. Lane, you good with it?
I'm good with it.
Cool,
Luke,
man.
You good with it?
Yep.
Luke,
I asked you. May 6th.
Gonna be checking people's eyes.
Yep.
Poofing. Poof.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But yeah, man. We'll wrap it up here. Episode 31. We appreciate everybody tuning in, man. And yeah, that's it.
Yep.
See
you guys.
Have a good evening.
Peace.
This has been another episode of the Pals Podcast. I'm your host, Pilks. Thank you for tuning in.
And it's been fun. I've been Drew. Thank you for listening to the Pals Podcast. Like, subscribe, comment, tell your friends. God bless everyone.